All right, welcome to a deep dive walkthrough the OpenTelemetry Demo, the game. And I'm gonna spend the next 10-15 minutes showing you what is behind that, how you can benefit from it, how you can learn observability, and enjoy it. All right, let's start. We published it here in this GitHub repo, giving you an overview, what the architecture is. It's running on EKS auto mode. And, there are a number of things that you might want to change if you, for example, are using a different LLM for the application. And you can also deploy it as a web application running in the same EKS cluster and then expose it through an ingress. So, without further ado, I present you the OpenTelemetry Demo, the game, or ODTG for short, and that's it. So when you launch, you go to localhost 5173 and you see this overview. And obviously there's also, if you want to actually go and, use the OpenTelemetry Demo itself, there's no change to that. The ODTG essentially just, provisions it using Helm charts in the EKS cluster, and then you're good to go. First things first, I want you to take a look at the keyboard shortcuts. So pretty much all of the functionalities are available through keyboard shortcuts, and I found that to be super fast to navigate. So I usually don't click anywhere, but using the shortcuts. C for cost breakdown, so you see what the infrastructure, the EKS cluster, and observability costs are. K for the kubectl command runner, that you can actually interactively issue certain kubectl commands to see what's going on, kubectl get, etc. M for the service map, that gives you a topological view of the services. You can dive deeper into the traces and logs. P is the PromQL Explorer, allowing you to interactively, issue any kind of PromQL query and get that data immediately and visualize it. R stands for the request error duration, so red metrics, a visual representation of the red metrics of all the services. S gets you to the service overview, and T to the telemetry pipeline. That's it for now. So before we start to play, let's have a look at what I just said. So S we already had, where services. Hitting T here, get to telemetry. So this is the collector pipeline, or pipelines, one for each telemetry signal type, so metrics, traces, and logs. And if you're unsure, what exactly is, the span metrics connector here, well, you can just click on this little link, and it directly links up to the upstream docs of the component. If you want to have a little bit nicer visualization, I highly recommend you to have a look at it in OTelBin, so you see how the pipelines actually are wired up. So that is how the telemetry pipeline is configured. We have 3 pipelines: metrics, logs, and traces, and all of them ingest into CloudWatch. Let's go back to services. Now, if you're not that familiar with the OpenTelemetry Demo, I would probably recommend you having a little bit of a look at what those services do. Some of them are kind of, self-explanatory. If you look at add, well, what might that be? Provides text adds based on given context words. Quite obvious. Checkout, well, that's written in Go, as you can see here. Retrieves user card, prepares order, and orchestrates the payment, shipping, and the email notification. Again, you can dive deeper by clicking that link and get directly to the upstream, these wonderful docs that in great detail explain what exactly is going on there. In general, there's also help or question mark, both gets you to the keyboard shortcuts that, if you tend to forget. And in about, you will see links to the respective resources where you can dive deeper into that. For example, how does PromQL work in CloudWatch? Or what are the CloudWatch OTLP endpoints, etc., etc. And one thing that I'm I'd like to point out here, if we go back to, let's see, why not some PHP, right? It's always good. If you're in the upstreams docs, you probably also want to look at the telemetry features and see the coverage. For example, if I'm interested in metric coverage, I see what kind of instrumentations all these different services are using, and are they manually instrumented, library instrumentation, etc. So I get a bit of a feeling, where can I get what kind of telemetry signals, what can I expect? And as you can see, other than the currency, all of them at least provide traces. Many of those provide metrics, as you can see here, and logs, a similar picture. All right, back to ODTG. So now that you're familiar with what the OpenTelemetry demo itself is, so that is for us from the game perspective, this is just the source of all the telemetry metrics, right? Telemetry signals, right? So mentioned early on, there's also costs. C gives you a bit of an idea what ODTG in general costs you. So in this case, for the last 7 days, it's around $105, where the observability costs are roughly 4%. That's not too bad. All right, so are you ready to play? Let's play. You hit the play button, and you're presented with two parts: the red metrics, and again, you can call that up with R if you want to, and escape always closes a dialog. And you can actually zoom in here if you wanted to, but usually I use M to bring up the service map, and then again you can zoom in here, and if you're lost, go back here and select, okay, apparently that's highlighted. Something with the ads is going on, right? Okay, can I see what's going on? Okay, I see the errors. That's automatically polled every 10 seconds, I believe, if I remember correctly. So the error rate goes up, right? So it doesn't really tell me a lot so far. Something with ads, probably, right? The ads not going well. So let me get you a hint and form your hypothesis. So the hint is that the ads, the ad services, fail intermittently, about 1 in 10 request errors. Right? The ad service pod is healthy and running. Right? So what is going on there? I'm going to say this is a networking related issue. Obviously, you can be more sophisticated and submit your hypothesis. This is now judged, and that's where the LLM part comes in, judged by an LLM judge, essentially submitting your hypothesis with the actual root cause and rating it based on that, right? So what really happened, there are over 40 different scenarios that can be applied, from easy to super hard. In this case, this is the feature flag, so that's directly from the OpenTelemetry demo itself. It provides through the feature flag able to induce failure scenarios. So what does that do? Enable the ad service failure flag. Okay. Causing the ad service to return errors on 1/10 of get ad requests. Okay. What we did here is also to expand on that in the AI analysis, and getting a bit more context. So this networking related issue, maybe 20 is a little bit too generous here. So next step is, and you see this always in which phase you are up here. The phase is shown. So currently we are in the remediation phase. What would the steps be, the necessary steps be? So you would first, using kubectl logs, look at the logs, you look at the feature flag, disable that, and then verify if everything is well. Of course, I could do that, but I'm lazy. I'm just say auto remediate, and the app takes care of that for me. This is not about, you teaching how to use kubectl. This is about observability. So let's go to the next round. In the next round, I want to show you something which is also built in, which is kubectl command runner. And if we look at the service map again, a lot of things going on. So something we check out, accounting, fraud detection. Ooh, there are a number of things going on there. So initially, again, you can directly do it here where you say, I want to see add and front end proxy and product reviews, or just want to see all of them. And again, the same is available if you hit R. And of course, you can go further back in time, right? You can say 6 hours and so on. Okay, I need a hint, right? I need to see what is going on. What is the hint? Async order processing stopped, accounting and fraud detection are idle. Checkout occasionally reports publish errors. The problem is in the message broker. So somewhere around Kafka. All right, the Kafka broker pod is restarting. I will say that the Kafka broker doesn't have no. Let's see how that matches up. What is the actual cause? It is kill the Kafka block the force partition leader re-election during the window producer see transient errors and consumer stop. Okay, so again, 20 seems to be very, very generous here. I'm waiting for another one. Let's just auto-remediate that again. Round 2, great. I want to go through all 5 rounds that I can actually show you what the outcome then is. Let's get another round going. Product pages load very slowly. Product catalog P99 is above 3 seconds, and downstream services are timing out. Ooh. So what's going on with the product catalog? Ooh. Maybe, oops, I should be here. Let's see if we see anything. Traces, not really here. Let's start with the front end, really. So you can navigate through the traces and the logs. That was from earlier on. That doesn't really help me. And for each of those spans, you can see all the OpenTelemetry attributes and the correlated logs as well. It doesn't really tell me a lot. So maybe I should be using the kubectl built in. So I would say minus an n, which is the namespace, which is ODTG. I just started with the get all. And I see not really a lot of interesting things. Because I'm in the wrong namespace. What is the namespace? What namespace is Hotel Demo. There you go. Minus n, Hotel Demo. Okay. Seems to have hit a little bug. That's always nice. It's too dense to properly enter it. Okay, now I see quite a few things here. I can, make it bigger if I wanted to. All of them are actually running quite nicely. All right, I don't want to waste too much time. I'm just gonna say that the product service is suffering. Probably not right, I guess. What is it? Network partitioning. All right. Again, the judge being very kind to me. Again, I will auto-remediate because I want to get to the actual end, which would be the last round. Let's see if I'm more lucky this time. And I challenge you to actually show off that you're much better than me in that game. Okay. Will I get any logs here? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, takes some time to get the logs. So I'm looking at the front end proxy of the, okay, no logs there, might not have logs. Can I see something in the actual front end? Proxy might not ship logs, but I believe the front end does. Let's see if there are logs. No logs found. Okay. Let's cut it short. Let's get a hint. Price display incorrectly or failed to load multiple service report upstream errors in both checkout and front end are degraded. Okay, I'm gonna say that doesn't get I should get 0 for that, right? Oh, should get 70. Kill the highest QPS service. Okay. So this is a medium type. You gotta do better. Promise me that. And I can auto remediate again. And now I should be round 5. Okay, so one more round. Most fruitlet fine, but one specific product always returns an error. Okay, looks like it's up services. Okay. Broken. Will I be able to get 0 points? No, 60. I really need to tweak the LLM judge here. Enable the product catalog failure. Okay. Okay, so this is again one of those feature flags that OpenTelemetry Demo has built in. It's essentially disabling for a specific or causing an issue for a specific product. So broken product service is kind of right. So now we should be done. And ta-da! I've got 38%. Spent 10 minutes, and there's a breakdown how I did. I definitely need to up my game. I need to play more often. You can download that as a PDF if you wanted to, and print it out, show it to your boss, and right. All right, that's it. I highly encourage you to have a look at the OpenTelemetry demo, the game, and obviously, you can also look at your data directly in CloudWatch. Just make sure that you also enable the OTel enrichment so that all the vended metrics that come in are available in OTel and PromQL. Head over to the Query Studio, which is currently in preview. If you're watching that video in a month's time or two, that will be GA already. And there, I typically using PromQL directly, but if you want to, you can essentially, click through the builder and get, let's say, ads. I want to see the ad requests. Which reminds me, I should show you the PromQL Explorer in ODTG as well. Let's say, I'm happy with that. Right? That's fine. Maybe we have type, request type, all the target at once. Okay. Back to one thing that I forgot here. There's another, if you remember, P. I forgot about that. I find that pretty useful. Which reminds you, by the way, on what I just said, right? To enable the OTel enrichment so that you have the metrics covered as well. You can enter PromQL here. There are a couple of examples directly there. You can just hit enter and it will visualize that. Depending on, or you can hit run. You can, of course, also change the query range. Let's say you want to see it over the last 3 days, of course. And it will automatically pick the right visualization. So if you happen to have a histogram, and then, okay, maybe 3 days is a little bit too much. Okay, can we push it 1 day? Yeah, okay. Then you'll get the heat map visualization. And obviously you can always look at the raw data that comes back from CloudWatch. Okay, now that's really it. Encourage you to start here, enable it, and maybe start in Query Studio to get a little bit of a feeling. And then, well, have fun playing it. See ya.